evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. This is our weekly public speaking training masterclass where we talk about how we can use public speaking to grow our business, step on stage, and make a huge difference with our words. So tonight is very special because we're going to talk about the emotional side of speaking. A lot of times we talk about the technical and the how-tos and step by step, but this time, what about the emotional side of speaking and your speech? So the title of our training today is How to Connect Emotionally with a Virtual Audience, which is a challenge these days. It is a lot easier to connect with your audience emotionally in a live setting than easier than it is in this setting. So for instance, when we're in a live event, one of the things I recommend that all the speakers do, of course, is to get there early, but not just get there early to set up, but to get there early and meet people as they're coming into the room. That's how you can begin that emotional connection. Because anytime people enter a room, especially the early birds, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to sit. They don't know if anybody's in the room. It's a very awkward, uncomfortable place to be for all of us. We don't know if there's anybody to talk to. We don't know if we're going to feel uncomfortable. Does anybody know what I'm talking about when you enter a room in a networking room? Right. You just, all this crap is going through. Is it okay to say crap? It is a 4-letter word, but excuse me.
Yes. It's in the Arvee dictionary.
Oh, good. Let me use the 5-letter stuff. Thank you, Dr. Renee. So we have all this stuff going around in our head, and what we can do as a speaker is take advantage of knowing that and greet people immediately when they come in the room, and that way they feel better. And all of a sudden, without us doing anything except greeting them, it's an instant emotional connection. And you can even say, hey, I'm sitting over here. Do you want to come and sit down? I guarantee you, those are the people that are going to be the first ones to buy your books, buy your coaching, buy your event, or whatever you may be selling at that particular event. I've seen it over and over and over again happen. So you want to get there early and build that emotional connection. But we can't do that now. And I'll tell you what, people are just not coming early to Zoom calls anymore. They did it in the beginning. They did a year ago, but we all are coming in like right at the right time, but very seldom early. Now there's some like Dr. Renee likes to get it early so we can have some conversations. But for the most part, most of us just get on our Zoom calls right when we have to, or right when they're starting. So we don't have that instant kind of connection as the speaker that we could have if people would come into the room early. You might try it as a speaker, come in early still, and even as an attendee. You might want to come in a little early and see what happens. I know CJ has an event that he runs on Thursdays and Fridays. They get there 30 minutes early as part of the event, and he puts them all in individual breakout rooms that they want to be in. So like, let's say you said, okay, I want to meet Jeanette. So CJ, put me in a room with Jeanette, right? Put me in a room with all the financial planners. Put me in the room with, the health experts or whatever. And so it's a way to do that. So if you're ever speaking at an event like that, you got to get there early. Don't be one of these speakers that blows in and blows out. I'll tell you what, when I see speakers like that, I don't invite them to speak at my event. If they're one of those that just, I don't have time to go to your event, I'll just come in when it's my time to speak, blow off my speech and blow out. That's not how you make an emotional connection with your audience. And the more emotional connection you make, the more sales you will make. It's a direct connection. So our challenge is how do we do it in this environment? Now, whether or not we are moving into live events or not, and there's a few live events going on. I mean, I'm like going to a live event coming up on the 21st that I think, Jeanette, you're probably going to go to. And I'm like in turmoil about it, right? Like, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? I don't know. Are you in turmoil at all, Jeanette? I mean, I'm like in freaking turmoil. Oh, is freaking bad too? I better watch my language. But but I'm like, should I go? Should I? I mean, I wrote the check today, but I'm like, I don't know. Should I? I guess I'll go because I already canceled my hair appointment. So I guess I'm committed. But I want to go, but I'm a little, it's like all these things going on with us now. How do I act? What do I wear? I don't know. Can I wear my high heel shoes? I haven't worn them for a year. Or my feet flat. I've been wearing flip-flops and slippers. I mean, I don't know. There's all these things now that we have to do that we never had to do before, never had to think about before, right? Now I got to do the back of my hair. I've just been doing the front of my hair. And now what am I going to do with the back of my hair? All these things are going through my mind. Okay. But Jeanette, if you go, I'll go. Okay. How's that?
Yes. If it's the one you're talking about, I think they changed it to virtual, so we're safe.
What, on the 21st?
I think so.
Oh, I thought it was, okay. Well, then there you have it. I didn't know it was virtual. I have to double check that. But thank you. Thank you for telling me that.
See, that's why you were in turmoil.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it was a different one that we're both involved in. This one is not virtual.
Okay, good. That one's live. Well, we all have to step out at some point. But again, it's not, it's just so different now. So as a speaker, know that you're going to be stepping out and there's going to be all these things going on, not only with you, but with other people that are attending, at least for the next 6 months. Right? Some people, maybe they just blow it off, but I don't know. I think people are just like that. Should I go? Is it, what are they going to wear masks? I mean, what do I wear a mask? Do I shake hands? Do I say hi? Do I hug? I don't know what to do. Right? How many of you have approached people and you're like you're just kind of waiting for them to do we hug or what? Now, yesterday I was so blessed because my mastermind came over to my house. But that's so icky, though, right? But
you know what, Arvee? You know what? I had a meeting with 6 people yesterday, clients, and I just stood back and I said, "Is it okay instead of hugging or shaking hands? Can we just stay away?" I said, "I'm very inclusive, but this is a step away. We're not being rude, and let's continue our meeting." And everybody agreed because it was awkward. It was the elephant in the room. What do we do? So I put it out there.
Well, what I was starting to say is my mastermind met at my house for the first time in a year. Ardina is part of that group. And they opened the door and 2 of them, I've met Ardina for years and years, but 2 of them I hadn't met. So I'm at the door going, they still have their masks on, but I'm like practically tackling them. I haven't had a hug in so long. I haven't had a person in my house in a year, right? So it was wonderful. So everybody took off their masks and we just had a great time. Didn't we, Ardina? Yeah, we had a good time. We had a great time.
All right, awesome.
But I'm sure that there was some, on your drive here, there was some, because you walked in with a mask. So I'm sure there was that, well, are we going to wear masks inside? Are we not going to wear masks inside? Are we going to this? Are we going to that? What do we do? I mean, is she going to shoot me with one of those temperature guns? What's going to happen? We just don't know is the point. And so, yes, you have to do like Dr. Renee said, just address each point as it goes. But the point being is there's a lot more going on in our heads and our audience's heads than ever used to be before. So get there early and check it out and start building that rapport. When you're in this virtual world, you want to do the same thing as far as getting there early and trying to chit chat and talk to people to build the rapport. It just won't happen as fast as if it's in the live world. And there's Lori joining us. Hi, Lori. So we are going to spell out the word emotional. So on your paper, fill out the word emotional. I'm not doing a PowerPoint today. I like to do a PowerPoint about every other time because sometimes it's just too much. But sometimes, you want a little something like that. So we're just going to spell out the word emotional. And how many were with me last week? So, I was zooming in from the hospital last week, right? My husband was in ER again and went to ICU, and he was in there for a week. So he was better by Tuesday because he went in the Thursday before. So I was zooming in from the hospital, and Dr. Renee, she's like, your background, where are you? Because I had kind of a weird background, different background. So that's where I was. So Jason, you missed it. See, I was zooming in from the hospital, but he's back and he's better, and we're moving on. We're trying to get him some help that he needs. Okay, so that was all very emotional. So we're going to start with emotional and the E in emotional. We're starting at the top. Now, let me ask you and my students, do I have to start at the top of the word? No. Is my only choice to start at the bottom with the L and work up? No, see, yeah, you ladies and gentlemen are bright and smart, and you're listening, so very good. So I can move around, I can do anything I want, right? And so can you, so good job. All right, but we are going to start with the E, and the E is for empathy. Empathy. When we're specifically talking about the virtual world and making that connection emotionally with our audience. Just like all of the things I shared, it's really important to put yourself in the other person's shoes, to have empathy for them and what they're going through, whether or not they want to do virtual, whether or not they want to do a hybrid, whether or not they want to do a live event, and then whatever's going on with them, right? Like I was in the hospital last week. And people came, had some empathy for myself and for Michael and what we were doing. But have empathy. Don't just like come out and, it's all about you and yada, yada, yada. Think about your audience again. And what did they do to get there? What did they do? I mean, all of you cleared your schedules for an hour at least to be here with me today. And I so appreciate it every single week that I want to deliver the best message I possibly can. And I work hard at it and prepare every single week for you. And I deliver a message that has not been delivered, right? And now some of the content, of course, is the same because I'm going to preach and preach and preach and preach until you get it at a, boom, 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 at a deeper level. But I always mix it up and put it in a different content. So it's kind of like having chicken. Now, my husband and I, we only eat chicken and turkey, and that's all. So I'm always asking him every single day, what would you like for dinner? Chicken, or chicken, right? And he always picks chicken. But we make it a different way every single time. It could be fried, it could be cut up, it could be in a stir fry. So today we're having thighs, and I'm going to do it in the Instapot. It's something different. So no matter what kind of content and teaching I teach, I'm always going to kind of mix it up a little bit and spice it up as much as possible. So empathy. So what is important to your audience? Not what's important to you, but what is important to your audience. Now you kind of know there's a giveaway here by what group you're speaking at. If it's a group of all women, well, you pretty much know what's important to them. If it's a business group, you pretty much know they want more business. So don't, just do research. If you're not sure, go on the internet and look up the group, see what they stand for, see what their mission statement is, and incorporate that into your speech. When I speak at the Lions Club, which isn't very often, but sometimes I've spoken at their big district conferences, and they just, a few years back when I spoke, they had their 100th year. Don't you think that's kind of important for you to know and bring up and say, congratulations? Yeah, kind of, right? So you never know. So make sure that you're doing some research on whatever group it is you're speaking to, and that you can deliver not only the message for them, but that you can fill for them. Because a lot of groups are not-for-profits, or they're groups that help, autism, or they help dyslexia or something like that you might be speaking at. So show some empathy for them, what they do, and for what it took for them to get there, to be there with you. All right, the M in emotional is for match audience, match audience. Now, what I mean for matching here is the value that they seek. Now, we already know kind of where they're coming from and we feel for them, but how do we give them the value that they seek? Now, again, you want to do your research. You can ask the person that invited you. I always ask, well, what message could I deliver that would be of best value to your audience? Because you know what? A lot of people, presidents of organizations, they're just happy to get a speaker. They don't really oftentimes care that much. They do care, but they know you're a professional speaker. They know you'll deliver a good speech. But when you ask them point blank, what message could I deliver that would be of most value to your membership? They will tell you, they will gladly tell you. And now you've emotionally connected to them, to that president, to that leader. And then it's easier now for you to emotionally connect with what? Their followers. So always ask that question, what value can I best give? And then match your speech to that value for the audience. Now, Ardina, if you don't know what she does, you should reach out to her because Ardina does this beautiful, beautiful artwork of memories and photos, but it isn't just photo restoration. That's part of her process. But she creates these beautiful, beautiful pieces. And I saw one yesterday that she did, and it blew me away because on her wall does not even match the beauty that it has. Well, she has, anyway, that's just a side note, a little plug, Ardina. But she reached out to me the other day because she's got an opportunity to speak for an organization that is really about, the event is all about getting clients and everything, right? So we're talking and brainstorming because that's not, what normally her speech is. You've got to be true to you and what you do for business, but you can always find an angle and do the matching to the audience. So Ardina could just blatantly go, well, this is what I talk about. I talk about art, blah, 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 and that's it. But we talked about an angle and we haven't defined it completely yet. So it's still in a work in process, but finding an angle about how, if you want to be that, that memorable business leader, how you want to have that kind of legacy left behind. And the legacy, of course, can be in your photos. We often see photos of people, men on the wall or employees of the month and stuff like that. But what if that was a piece of art that somebody would gladly put on their wall? So there's ways to find an angle to match your audience's needs and what they seek, even though you might think it's, well, I do art. Well, we can always find a way. So look for that. The O is for open heart. We're spelling out emotional. The O is for open heart. How do you show up? Now, this isn't for them. This is how do you show up? Are you showing up with an open heart? Are you showing up with an open mind, an open body? Are you being real? Are you being yourself? Are you covering it up just a tad to be safe? Are you doing your professional self? Now, I know when I was in corporate America, oh boy, I had two complete sides. I was so compartmentalized, you wouldn't believe it. I had my suit, I had my Toomey briefcase, right? I was hot stuff. Boy, when I was in corporate America, I drove my BMW, not because it was a great car, but because I looked good in it as I looked out the window, right? And that is just, I'm not like that anymore. That was 20 years ago. But I was, going into all that corporate stuff. I never mentioned God. I never mentioned personal life. I never mentioned anything like that. You just didn't back in the day. Now it's a different story. But the key here is that it was two different people. So when I got home, took off the suits, I was, totally another person. Be careful. You don't want to do that today, not even as a speaker. We talked about being nakedly authentic in the past. This is where that comes in. But you want to come in with an open heart. And of course, I hope you know I'm talking with respect to the audience, right? If you're a nudist, I don't expect you to show up to speak in the nude, you know. But no matter how real you are, where's Dr. Renee? Dr. Renee always says professional on the top and party on the bottom. What do you say, Dr. Renee? Something like that.
I say Zoom on top and party on the bottom. Business on top and party on the bottom.
There you go. Okay. So open your heart, though. Open your heart to what just what's really real for you, and speak from the heart. And when you do, it will open the hearts of your listeners. All right. So the T is for tone. We don't talk about tone a lot, but I want to talk a little bit about tone, because without tone, and there's the tone of voice, there's the speed at which you talk, there's that value of the voice. And a few weeks ago, we did a few voice exercises to get that tone of your voice a little deeper and a little richer. Now, how many of you are watching The Voice on TV right now? Right? Yes. Oh, Jean always, we watch it, and then we hang on, Jean, and then sometimes when it gets to the end, I'm like, I'm tired, I got to go to bed, and I'll say, Jean, who won? And she'll tell me who won, because she's ahead of me. Oh, right, Jean. So what do you want to say about The Voice?
I like Cam.
I do too, but I don't know. There's something not completely that I'm in love with. I don't know. There's something not completely that I'm in love with. I don't know what it is yet, but I liked him yesterday. Yeah.
He's getting better. He's
getting better. Okay. Well, obviously Kelly loves him, right? Kelly Clarkson. I love him. You know. But anyway, so when you're listening to The Voice, they're really listening for that unique voice. They're listening for tone, that speed. They love grovel. Oh, I love grovel too. I always have loved the grovelly voices. But same when a speaking voice, we look for different voices. And CJ, I always tell him he's got that different voice. If we were doing The Voice for speaking, he would absolutely, be the contender or the winner, because his voice is unique. It's deep, but it's not just that deep radio voice that you'd hear a lot of. It's different. So speak, say so, speak up.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
See what I mean? Isn't that cool? Yeah, give him some hearts, give him some reactions, some hearts there, right? It's just different. And that's what they look for. So practice your tone, your speeding up. I've sped up, I've slowed down. I've got high, I've gotten low. And I don't do it on purpose. After a while, you'll just do it. But there's nothing worse than a monotone, the straight way through speaking, much less singing. Nobody likes that. So make sure you're practicing your highs and your lows. The I is for idea. This is your big idea. This is the big idea. Maybe it's a shock statement. Like I said, crap. Ooh, right? Shocks everybody, gets their attention. Some people use fouler language than that as the shock treatment. Tony Robbins does. I'm not advocating it. I'm not suggesting it in any way. I don't like it. It can turn on you to some people, but some big idea that might shock them, some big idea that people have never heard of, something innovative that has to do with your business, right? That will shock them. So that's going to be up to you and your topic and what you can think of, but don't be afraid to do that. Also, action. What kind of a big idea that will create action in your audience? All of those people are going to be grateful for. And again, that's how we emotionally connect. When people are going, wow, I've never heard that before. One of my shockers that I use that you've heard a lot and you're not shocked anymore, but when I say naked authenticity, when it's a new audience, they're shocked by that, right? Because I said the word naked. Right? But when I say naked authenticity, it means being real, then they get it. And I've had people that say, I've never heard that before. And I said, that's because I made it up. That's my words, right? You're not going to hear it anywhere else unless they're copying me. So that kind of thing, a big idea, that's a big idea. Naked authenticity, big idea, shocking idea, right? That's what I'm talking about. You all have something like that within you. So be thinking about tonight when you're laying down, going to sleep. I want you to just think about what's my big idea? What's my big shocking big idea? It doesn't have to be shocking. It just can be big. Mine just happens to be shocking how I say it and big at the same time. But what is my big idea? It will come to you. And I want you to get up in that moment and write it down. So in the morning, you're not going, what was that? I don't know about you, but I've had some big ideas at night and I'll remember in the morning and then I forget. How many of you are with me? Right? So just keep a little pad by your nightstand or your phone and speak it in your phone. I don't care if it wakes you up for an hour. It's a big idea and they only come once in a while. So write it down, capture it. It's a big idea. The O, is it, wait, I got to check in. Is this good stuff so far? Right? Cool. All right. I'm just checking in. Janine, are you with me, Janine? Janine.
Yes, I am.
Awesome, girl. Just checking in. All right. The O is for outline, 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 outline. We want to outline your speech. Ardina, I want you to tell everybody what you told me yesterday about writing your speech and outlining and all that. Tell them what you told me.
Well, I told when I first heard Arvee say not to write out your speech, that was hard for me because I have always written out everything. But now I get it. So that was a what you call like an eye opener or something like that.
Big shocking idea too.
Yeah.
Light bulb moment for me too, Arjuna.
Aha moment.
Write it all out too. That was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
Good, excellent. So we want to outline, we want to format, we want to outline even the stories and metaphors. Now, what I do for my outline, let's say I'm doing emotional, right? And I have mine right here. Look at, I'm using this, right? I've got my notes. I'm not picking this from the air. This is brought to you with a lot of care and thought. And so I write it out and then I save it in my computer for future if I want to use some. I've got a gazillion speeches. I've got probably 900 or more just written down, but I don't have them all written down in my outline. I don't have every outline. Sometimes I'll outline, I'll just put it on paper and deliver it to you. But I recommend you put them all on your computer. I wished I had over the years, right? Because I've been doing this program for probably 10 years. Okay, so coming back to outline, when you outline it, then you're just going to decide what stories you want to tell, write the name of the story and circle it. And that'll remind you and jiggle your mind that you're going to tell that particular story at that particular time. So you don't have to write up the whole thing. Name your stories, right? You might have the Jason story. You might have the Jean story. You might have the whatever, Hector story, the camel story. So that kind of thing. All right, the N is for now relevant. Now relevant. What is going on in the room? What is going on in the world? And what is going on with you? So to connect to your audience, we want to be relevant. So what do I mean? That's a lot. I said a lot there. Okay, so if a plane goes by and it's really loud, that's something that's going on. You've got to stop and you've got to acknowledge it. My phone is ringing. Ooh, I hope it's somebody interesting. Let me see.
Oh, acknowledge the call.
Acknowledge. It's nobody.
Acknowledge the call.
Actually, it's a robocall. So acknowledge whatever's going on. And if something is happening in your room, even virtually, right? Acknowledge. And I think some of you that were in my Create Your Speech in a Weekend class saw me do that, right? You saw me do that. I could see. I'm looking, even though I'm looking at the camera a lot, I'm looking at you and what's going on. And I can see if somebody's upset or distracted, or if, there's something going on in the other room or whatever. And you can too, if you pay attention. So beware, because it could be something important that you need to acknowledge. I mean, you're not going to acknowledge every single thing, somebody taking a drink of coffee or something, but there could be something important happening with somebody, and you want to make sure that if it's relevant, that you acknowledge them and what is going on. So what is going on in the room, what is going on overhead, and even what's going on in the world. So we've had a lot of conversations about the pandemic, a lot of conversations about COVID. I don't mean the conversation, but reference. Right? Every single group we've been to, they reference it. I'm kind of like up to here with it, aren't you? I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want, right, Clemmy? I don't want to talk about it. I had it up to here with all that. So you won't find me doing it very often, but other people still are doing it. But again, whatever's relevant, you're not going to get into politics or any of that stuff. But if something's happening on TV, you might reference something. It all depends. It has to be relevant to your speech and to your audience. That's what I mean when I say now relevant. Next, A. The A is for your actual words, the actual words that you speak. Are they emotional words? Are you using emotional words? What are some emotional words? Well, imagine is a big one. Imagine that you're on stage and you're speaking to 500 people. How do you feel? What does that feel like to you? Imagine you're on a Zoom call and there's so many people, you keep scrolling through all the screens, and then you do your offer and you close 20% of the room. How does that feel to make $50,000 in an hour, right? So use emotional words that get people to think, that get them to go, wow, they get their heart to open. L is for love, the love. Give your audience the love. Now, we've talked before how to love on your audience, virtually and live. Who can tell me some of the things we've talked about? How do you love on your audience?
Participation, raising hands, stand up, stretch, dance, do have props, do this.
Right. A lot of that is, audience participation. Very good. But how do you feel love?
Acknowledging them when, like, you do a really good job acknowledging people when they come on Zoom.
Right.
Like, hey, hi, Lori. Oh, Lori's in the room, like that kind of thing. You make people feel really good about attending and being there.
Right. And that's something we can do virtually as a speaker. If you know people, if you don't know them, it's kind of hard if you're the guest, but we can still say a little hey, where you probably wouldn't do that on stage. And you wouldn't necessarily do that if you were in the zone of your speech.
Right.
But when you can, calling people by name. So maybe you're in the zone of your speech and you can't say hi, you're in the room, but later you could turn around and say, and Gloria, what do you think? Dr. Renee, what do you think? Jeanette, what do you think? Right? And acknowledge a few people and bring them in like I did with Ardina, because we all live vicariously through each other. And if we're kind to one person, we all feel that love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Always make everyone feel important, significant, like they're the only ones in the room at that moment. All right. Hey, Benita, how you doing, girl? You're all alone today. I don't see any of your friends.
Oh, they're around. I was walking and my battery died, but I'm now with them.
Oh, okay. Great. All right. Did someone have their hand up? Oh, yeah, Lori. Lori, you still have that weird camera thing going on. You're like a silhouette.
It's only when I'm on Zoom. Sorry. Anyway, one of the things I see speakers doing is like, you know, acknowledging where people are from. And it's like kind of an easy way to start off a speech is just like, you know, hey, where's everybody from? Oh, Wisconsin. Oh, who else is from Wisconsin? You know, and it just kind of makes people feel important.
Yeah, it does. I'm not so sure that as a guest speaker, that's what you want to do because it would eat up too much of your precious time.
Oh yeah, no, I was thinking
the
if you
host.
were alive and you were it.
Yeah,
yeah.
but as a host, you absolutely, that's a great way as people come on to say where you're from. And when I do my webinars, I do that exact thing. Kind of, it's a way to kind of occupy people while you're waiting for other people to come on, especially people you don't know. So very good idea. Excellent. All right. So the L is for love. So loving on your audience, acknowledging them, calling them by name, really trying to spend some time with as many people as you can when you speak, especially if it's a small enough audience. The bigger the audience, the less you're able to do that. And I'm telling you, the less you'll be able to make that emotional connection. So I would recommend always looking for smaller groups that you can make a bigger emotional connection because you will sell more. I've been in these big 200 people and I haven't sold a thing. And then I've been in smaller groups and I've sold half the room. So it depends. And I'm not saying it's about selling, but if it's truly about people taking the next step with you or getting more of a solution to their problem from you, then you've got to be in a place where you can offer that and may be open enough to get it. So that's the challenge. And they're not going to buy if they're not emotionally connected to you. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ways that you can emotionally connect to your virtual audience. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, so now we have about 15 minutes left. So I'm gonna take some questions. So if we could just kind of limit the questions to this topic, what we're talking about today, and or comments, or you can just pass. I want to make sure we get everybody out of here on time. I do want to mention I am doing an event tomorrow. It is for, here it is, it's tomorrow. It's for Habitat for Humanity. It's their first virtual event. We're calling it Home Sweet Home. I'm on the board of Pomona Valley, as if I need another job to do. And but it's all about home. It's for homeowners. So it's only $25 donation, which of course they need to build houses. That's what Habitat for Humanity does. It's from 9 to 3 o'clock tomorrow. The link is in the chat. I've got a lot of really cool people, even some people from Passionately Speaking that are going to be speakers. But it's all about home. It's all about home mortgage, home organizing, home decorating, home. So it'll be something a little bit different and yet a lot of fun. Okay, so there's the link if you want to go to that. All right, so let's open it up. I'm going to go to Dr. Renee. She was the first one in the room.
Thank you, Arvee.
Go first.
Thank you so much. No, I'm fine. I'm going to go ahead and pass. I have no questions. Fantastic presentation today. I have a client that needs attendance.
Okay.
Attention, I should say attention and acknowledgement to make them feel important and significant. And so I need to take care of my client. She's very upset. So I'm going to leave early. Thank you so much. And it was fantastic. And have a blessed day, everyone.
So before you leave,
yes,
that's a new picture. When you came on, you didn't have that picture behind you.
Yes.
What is that? That's beautiful.
Thank you. It's kind of like a peacock feather.
Nice. Very different.
Thank you.
Are you in your home?
Yes. Another part of my home. Thank you so much for seeing that.
All right.
All right, honey. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye, CJ.
Bye.
Bye, Tina. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, RV. Thank you so much. God
Bye.
bless you.
Bye. All right, Jeanette, you're next.
I can't think of a question to ask, but thank you so much. This was really good. It kind of reinforces some of the things you've been doing in the other training that have really been helpful. So thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Michelle.
I'm probably kind of in agreement as well. I mean, I absolutely love your teachings, and so I don't know that I have necessarily any questions, but I loved your idea of the big idea, what would shock people, and then get them involved and those kinds of things. So I just love all your little tidbits and things. So thank you for all you do.
You're welcome, Michelle.
Loving this group.
Good. Excellent. All right, CJ.
Hello, great message today. I took a lot of notes, and as usual, I'll post those in Passionately Speaking. And I do have a question for you today.
What is it?
Last week, and many weeks, we talk about tracking our speeches and our talks so that we know how many we've done and are doing. And we also spoke last week about opportunities to sponsor an event, a 1-day, a 3-day. And so that got me thinking, as I track events that I'm going to, I obviously know how to number a specific event when I'm the speaker and I'm showing up and I'm doing my thing. So that's no problem. My question is around, what about like a 3-day event that I'm either the sponsor or I'm a speaker? If I'm a speaker, that would count as one speech when I present my speech. But what about that 3-day event where I'm either the host or the MC or the DJ, or I have an appearance throughout the event? Would you count that as one and count the event as a whole, or would you count it per day? What's your advice on tracking that in my notes?
Very good question. I would track it per day long as it was a prepared speech that you did 2 minutes work.
Okay.
So like if you're just going, hey, welcome everybody, welcome to the event, welcome right where you're from in the chat, that's really not a prepared speech. But if you did like a 2-minute kind of monologue in the beginning where you talked about the event, or maybe you introduced the person and it was about 2 minutes and you had prepared for it, then I would say you could count that each time you did that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're counting our speeches. We're not counting our speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or we could speak every minute,
Sure.
A gazillion speeches a day.
Sure. I guess I'm thinking of, like, we were talking about being a sponsor at an event like the $1 Million Speaker Summit. They get to speak throughout the event. Or we were talking about Bonita maybe doing an MC at an event, and that counts as a public appearance. I didn't know how to track that if it was multi-days, for example.
Well, again, most of the time as an MC, like Bonita would do and I'm doing tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I have some prepared segments.
Okay.
I'm talking about the event, welcoming the event. Anytime you have a prepared segment that's 2 minutes, then that counts.
Great.
Right? But if you're a sponsor, you're really selling and you're just chit-chatting with people that come in your room. So I'm not so sure I would actually count that as a speech, unless you're going to sit there for 2 minutes and talk to them about your products and service. But they would probably leave the room, if they couldn't have a conversation. So that's more of a conversation, not a speech, as a sponsor.
Great. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's the best answer right there. Prepared speech for 2 minutes or more includes monologues, includes introductions, things that are prepared.
And emceeing as long as it's prepared and 2 minutes.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's it for me. I'm complete. Thank you.
Okay, good. Good question. All right, Gloria.
This was awesome as usual. Great information, and yeah, actually I can't think of a question to ask today, but I'm really glad I came. So I'm trying to come more often to get a few
Yes. Please do.
So thank you.
All right. Okay, Ardina.
All right. Great information, as always. Yes, absolutely. And this is so apropos in time for me because, I'm speaking on Thursday.
That's right. Go ahead and put your link in the chat. She's
Yes,
got a webinar she's doing.
May I?
Webinar. So it's her first one.
My
So I
first
want all of you to support her as part of the community and go and check it out. So she has an audience. It's a webinar, but she is doing it as a Zoom meeting. So we will see you. So Ardina, go ahead and put the link in.
Okay. May I just upload the flyer?
No, you know why? You certainly can. But the problem is the flyer doesn't have a live link. Honey, put the live link in.
Yeah, I have to find out how to do that.
Okay, tell CJ what the live link is. Just verbally tell him what it is, and he'll do it.
Okay.
Now?
Now? Oh, I gotta pull it up.
Take action.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
All right, always have that ready. Like I had mine copied. So mine's copied in my browser, right? So I can go, bam, right? Hit return and it's there in 2 seconds. So if you're ever going to have a link to an event or something you want to talk about, always have that link ready. Or your email address or your calendar link, whatever it is you're speaking and then you're going to kind of offer, have that ready.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Okay, good. All right, we'll come back to you, Ardina. All right, Jean. 82-degree Jean.
I'm pretty good here,
You're pretty good?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right, Jason.
Thank you, Arvee, for this remarkable contribution. I'm going to look forward to the recording because I want to review your sections on tone and idea. So I'll hold my questions until then, but I really want to get more information on that portion of your content. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, Lawana.
Hey, thanks. Another great event. And before I forget, thank all of you who went over and subscribed over on my YouTube channel. That helped a lot. So I appreciate that. I enjoyed today. And CJ, thank you for asking that question because now I realize I've spoken more often than I thought. So I got to go back and analyze what I've done. This was great. I do want to share. Well, no, I'm going to wait till Saturday. I found out a couple of things about Zoom. I don't know if you know it or not, but I'll share it at that meeting.
Hey, do you want to, well, after we get done, if we have time today, you can share it today.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl and Michelle and Luana and Jeanette and some people are in a Saturday class with me, the 3 series Saturday class. We just had a Zoom class. We have a Facebook Live class coming up and a virtual speaking class. And if you're interested in that, just reach out to me. I'll tell you how you can join us. All right, Cheryl.
Yes, I want to ask you, is there a way that you would go about if you wanted to contact sales managers and get in front of sales managers to deliver inspirational and motivating talks to their sales teams? Is there a way that you get in front of them or a certain way to find a list of people like that?
Of sales managers?
Correct.
Well, it depends on the company, but a lot of companies, the bigger companies, mid-sized companies, they're going to have a sales team and they're going to have a manager to run that team. So if it was me, I would just kind of identify within a 25-mile radius of my home, right? Ideally, because you may be driving there and then hopefully you can drive there and do a sales presentation in front of their team. So I would do that. I would probably stay away from real estate. Not that that's anything bad, but oftentimes they're independent individuals. And so there's no one person necessarily over them that can kind of rule them and make them come to the presentation. but CPA firms have sales teams. You know, so many, almost every company you could think of has some sort of sales team. Sometimes they're only one person. But outline the firm and then the companies, and then I would just call them and just say, can I speak to your sales manager? And the gatekeeper, if it's a big enough firm, they'll like want to know what it's regarding, and you'll just tell them, you know, would like to do a free presentation for them on how they can make more sales. Everybody, all salespeople want to make more sales, period. Right? They're not going to say, oh, I've made enough sales this week. Never mind. Right? I mean, I want to talk to them about how they can increase their sales really easy. I mean, even the gatekeeper is going to perk up at that and go and not get in the way. Right? She's not going to say how, because she's not a salesperson. She's not going to know how or what to ask, but she will probably send you to the right person. Yeah, Michelle, go ahead. Oh, you have to go? Okay, bye. We've got 4 minutes, girl. Wait, I got you for 4 minutes now.
It's my sister's birthday and I got to give her a call for the next meeting.
Awesome. Okay, goodbye. So make a list and call them is my recommendation. Okay.
Thank you.
It's not rocket science. I know you're probably wanting some secret, thing, but that's how easy it is. Just do that and you'll get in there. And it's a numbers game. So just like their game is a numbers game, getting in to see them is a numbers game. Just keep calling. Same with getting speeches, ladies and gentlemen. You got to pick up that phone, make those calls. They're not going to happen to you and fall in your lap unless you've been speaking as long as I have. And then, oftentimes the opportunities do fall. I don't have to make any calls. I haven't made a call forever, but you do. You've got to pay your dues and make those calls. All right. Okay. All right, Lori. Loving your hair today, Lori.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Everything was awesome. I do have a question though. When you talk about the open heart and how do you show up with an open mind, open heart, is this like how vulnerable you are with your audience?
In a way, yeah, but we can have an open heart without feeling like we're vulnerable. We just have to be real and who we are and take down our guard. A lot of times we have a guard and we have our speaker self and then we have our real self. Well, you see, I merged the two. I merged the two. Yeah. And eventually you will too. You'll feel comfortable just being transparently who you are. Goofy or not goofy or whatever. Okay. Right? And that's what I mean.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Sometimes it takes some practice to get that kind of confidence. Yeah. All right, Benita, you're up.
At the end of May, I have an opportunity to do 8 to 10 minutes of recording in a studio with some shared time with some other people in a Speakers Academy. So I'm trying to figure out what I can most focus on. I can break into 2 or 3 minute segments. I could have an interview for 2 minutes and beginning, ending. Anyway, do you have any thoughts?
Well, that takes more than just a couple seconds that we have here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds about right. Several 3-minute segments, no more than that. Just real short and sweet.
Right.
But in them, you have to go through the system where that has to be a complete. So it has to have your beginning and has to have your meat, and then you have to have some sort of a close. Yeah. So they need to be full and rich and complete all by themselves. Good for you for going in there. Good for you. All right. Let's go to Clemmy, and then we'll go to Janine, and then we'll make it out on time. Clemmy.
Yeah, I'm glad for CJ's question as well, because tomorrow in my mastermind group, I'm going to lead a breakout room. So who knows what that's going to be, but hopefully. And then, and I've been learning new stuff, so I'll have a chance to test drive it. So I'm guessing that qualifies. And then
2 minutes and you prepare for it. Yes.
Yeah. And so I guess my question is, well, on the big idea, I I guess I don't think that it's a big idea, but I've noticed I'm getting reactions. People say, "Oh, I never thought of that."
Then that's a
So,
big idea.
so that's a big idea. And my question really is for outlining because of the brain injury. Like sequencing thing is always the challenge, and so I don't know if you have other ideas, but I like to just use index cards, and that way I can shuffle them in any order, and then by practicing, I discover the segues that seem to have a thread that I can hold on to and remember.
Yeah, but on your cards, you're not writing everything out, right? You're
No,
just
no, no.
outlining.
I'm just making like keywords, and then because like I had this thing where like some things are logically connected and some things are just like loose lines that could go anywhere. And so what I realized is if I just practice in any sequence and then I find the through line that then I can retain in my head as, oh, that's the order, because otherwise I'll forget where I am. Those floaters just kind of float away.
Right. Whatever works. If that works for you, then do it. It's just in the live room, the index cards won't work. If you
Right.
bring them on stage, I've done that in the old days and I dropped them.
Oh, I couldn't see. It was like the lighting was so bad, I'd never look at them. But the point is, that's how I built it. Well, because then you can change the order back and forth until you get comfortable.
Okay, that sounds good to me. As long as you don't write them out, it sounds good to me.
Thanks.
Okay, good. All right, let's go to Janine and then we're gonna, anybody that leaves, go ahead and leave. And then I'm gonna give it to Luana. She said she learned some new Zoom hacks. So we wanna hear those. So Janine, you're up.
I'm passing.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of work on my book right now, so.
Okay, well, we're anxiously waiting for that to come out, so.
Okay.
All righty. Okay, let's go. So if you have to go, I'm going to officially end before. I'm going to turn off the recording in a second, but I just want to say again, pick up that phone, ladies and gentlemen, and make those speaking engagements. And when you do get those speaking engagements, remember to always speak with passion and connect with your audience. All right, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Do you want to stop?